manage the day to day. It's already in place. Not laundromats, but dry cleaners that already have a history of customer base.
I say parking garages too.
Parking garages, parking lots.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, that's what I've been wanting to get for the longest.
ATMs, like shit like that, like shit that I don't have to fucking like really
Monitor, yeah.
Yeah. People gotta use. Yep, everything that people got to use, and that's how you build that.
A garage will pay for itself in like 5 years.
Not even fast, depending on where it is.
That's
but
what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Like that.
You get a garage downtown in Atlanta.
Oh, yeah, man.
You ain't never got to worry about money for the rest of your life.
No. Shelton, say something.
What's happening? Look like y'all about to rob somebody with all the black ones.
Hey, it's Black History Month. Where your black at?
I'm about to go change right now.
You ain't about to change shit.
All right.
We're in that awkward moment of sports where it's like some shit about to happen, but shit ain't happened just yet.
Cool, I think we good. All right. This is the place where sports opinions collide dead in sports. I'm your host, Kenneth B. Inge. Joining me on the show, we got Nikki Duce.
What it do? What's good?
FIFO 24/7.
What it do?
Manny from Any Given Sunday.
What's good?
Shelton J. He back. You see he back, right?
He got the Scully on.
Yeah.
Hey, that means he got the hot takes.
Yeah. Yes, sir. I'd like to put my Scully out for this
one. Beasley may or may not be joining us, but it's dead in gaming night, so you may not see him. But anyway, so we're back for another week of sports talk, mainly NBA talk, even though there was a couple of things in the NFL. But yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys hit the bell, hit the like button, as
Please.
well. Yes, and the reason why we were 10, 15 minutes late is because we were recapping our Madden franchise over on the Dead End Sports Twitch. So go over there, twitch.tv/Dead End Sports, and subscribe to that and catch us live every Tuesday over there in between 8:30 and 8:45. So all that said, let's go ahead and get into the show.
Like you said, we mostly just gonna talk about NBA, but there is one huge NFL topic that we gotta cover, and that's dealing with the Philadelphia Eagles and the Indianapolis Colts. The trade is I guess it's just a verbal trade, but they can't really agree upon it yet until later on this year. But the Eagles have made a trade with the Colts for Carson Wentz to send him to Indianapolis for a 3rd round pick in this year's draft, 2021. And a 2nd round pick / potential 1st round pick in 2022, depending on how Carson Wentz plays with the Eagles. If he plays at least 70% of the snaps and gets to if he gets to the playoffs, they get the 1st round pick. Or if he at least plays 75% of the snaps, I don't think the playoffs matters at that point. But they'll be turn that 2nd round pick to a 1st round pick. So my question to y'all: who benefited the most over this trade for the next 2 years? I'm not going to say who won the trade because obviously I think that's an obvious choice. But who benefited from the most from this trade over the next 2 years?
The Colts.
That's a tie pretty much because the Colts needed a quarterback to take the place of. It has to be though, and the only reason I say that is they needed a quarterback to take the place of Philip Rivers leading. It's obvious that they're not going to rely on Jacoby Brissett, which I thought he was decent enough to do the job. I really thought he was. And also Philly won because they got rid of that bad contract. There was nothing. He was never going to be anything in Philly anymore. It was done. That bridge was burnt. That relationship was over. So to get rid of him and get him off the books is the best thing they could have done. Now they can move on and either go with Jalen Hurts, or if he doesn't develop where they want him to, they can draft another quarterback. So it's a win for both sides. But if you had to pick one, I would say Philly.
If
and,
I
and
have
just for that reason.
if I have to pick one, I'm taking Carson Wentz and the Colts, only because the best that we've seen of Wentz is way better than we've seen of Jacoby, and even yeah, and Jalen.
It's early to say that about Jalen though.
True, but we've seen Carson Wentz at his best, and even if if he can no longer tap into that anymore, with the way that this Colts team is built, like shit, we saw what Philip Rivers did, right? Like he got them boys to the playoffs, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Shit, you mean to tell me Carson Wentz ain't better than Philip Rivers? So as long as he can just be decent, this team has a chance. And they're built for the long haul. They have an O-line. They have the requisite weapons. They have the defense. So over the course of the next 2 years, this is the best rental money can buy right now.
What do you think,
No
Manny?
FIFO.
I mean, it's pretty much based on perception, right? So if you're of the mind that you think Carson Wentz is trash and overrated and overpriced and whatever, then you think the Eagles won, right? If you're of the mind that Carson Wentz is still untapped potential and still has the opportunity to grow and be a good, solid quarterback, or even potentially a great quarterback, then you think the Colts got the better of the deal. I mean, we'll see. Only time will tell. I think right now, if you had to put money on it, I would say the Colts, because you still got a guy who's, I mean, how old is Carson Wentz? I don't even think he's
Under 30.
Under
Like
30, yeah,
27
definitely.
maybe, something like that.
Yeah, so you still got a 27-ish, 8-ish quarterback that, barring injury, we've seen, like FIFO said, the best of Carson Wentz is better than what the Colts had in Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers, old man Phillip Rivers last year, and better than currently what anything the Eagles have right now. We still got to see what Jalen Hurts is. I'm not all the way sold yet, but we'll see. So I think if you had to pick a winner or a person that won this trade right now today, I would say the Colts.
So that's Manny's mind, right? You said
Yeah.
Okay, cool. The Colts, man. Like I don't know if I said this on the show. I don't know if it may have been in our group chat, but I'm gonna take a little walk right now because I felt like this was the best designation for him before any of the media started talking about it that I know of. So I called this one. This was my call. So and I'm glad they worked it out, man, because there are a lot of things that I feel that I want to see, that I want to see. Was it Reich or was it Peterson? Is Reich and Wentz like the Breeze Peyton pairing, the Belichick Brady pairing, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what I want to see. We don't know yet, but we will see. He had a great year under Reich, and I wanted Wentz to go somewhere where there won't be any excuses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if he went to Chicago, I didn't like that fit. I don't care what people say about Matt Nagy. I ain't seen enough.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
But I've seen him under Frank, and if he can't do it under Frank and where he was successful under Frank, then Wentz is done. He did not like Philly anymore. He was just done. The head coach, I'm sure, had a lot to do with that. Nick Soriano, whatever his name was. Who the fuck want to play for him if you were Wentz? You already know how this thing is going to go. So I'm going with the Colts as the winner in this. I think the unknown with Philly is looming with Hurts. I'm with Manny all the way. I'm not sold, on Jalen Hurts, but I'm pro brother. I definitely want the brother to succeed, so I'm pulling for him and I'm rooting for him all the way. I just haven't quite seen enough just yet, but I think the Colts got this one because, yeah.
I asked the question over the next 2 years because obviously off the top of the head you'll say the Colts. They got the better player, they got the better roster, and they just seemed like they were just a QB away from possibly going to the AFC title game. However, there's a part of me that in the back of my mind that wants to pick the Eagles because for the fact of look over what happened over the last 5 years. I always ask this question. I even asked this question to Q. I was like in the chat. I was like, "Bruh, would you deal with everything you've been dealing with as long as you know that you got a championship?" If this was 5 years ago, he said, "Yeah." Most people will say yes.
Absolutely.
A title
Yeah,
means
absolutely.
worth all
is
of it.
worth all the headache.
100%.
So the Eagles have a title within the last 5 years. Not a lot of franchises can say that.
100.
The Eagles also know for a fact that the title that they got was not because of Carson Wentz. That's for a fact. He was not.
Not 100%.
Not 100%. You can't say that.
For a fact, he did not win them that Super Bowl.
But he got look.
I'm just saying for a fact he did not win them that Super Bowl, and they haven't
But it
seen
was
him.
for a fact that if he wasn't there, they wouldn't have got to the Super
Right,
Bowl.
exactly. Yeah.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, but hold on.
You can't say that.
The reason why I'm saying all this is because for me, it's just like the Eagles gave up Carson Wentz, a guy who they thought was their future. They mortgaged their future to get him, and they gave him up for pretty much pennies on the dollar if you're looking at the draft picks. But to me, the pressure is so much on Indianapolis because Indianapolis reminds me of like the Cleveland Cavaliers, where they always seem to have a first round overall pick. And like as far as when it comes to QBs, like they had Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck. Now they got Carson Wentz. Like it's like, damn, like the luck that this team has had when it comes to QBs.
No pun intended.
The turnaround is staggering. But because they have a defense that's ready, because they have offensive weapons, because they have a head coach, and it seems like everything's right, Carson Wentz over these next 2 years has to show that he is a Super Bowl MVP. Or, I mean, at least the MVP caliber player that he was that we keep talking about in 2017.
Why?
Because we always said that if that's the pedestal that we put him on, is that almost MVP season.
I think he had that pressure in Philly because obviously they mortgaged their future. They anointed him as the guy, right? Carson Wentz, best quarterback we've had since, McNabb, Jaworski, whatever. So he had that pressure in Philly. I think in Indianapolis, he has some pressure. I mean, you always have some pressure when you're acquired in a trade. But I think in Indianapolis, I don't think he has savior pressure. Like, he doesn't have to be the savior. He just has to be – if he could just go there and be just a little bit better than Phillip Rivers, which is not saying much, if he could just be marginally better, then it doesn't really matter because the Colts got a guy who's still young, who's still –
To me, that's oversimplifying this whole trade and the impact of it. Because
you're the one that's overcomplicating it because you be wanting to hold people accountable to measures that
they set.
How much set?
He set the standard for himself. We keep if Carson Wentz didn't have that 2017 run, no one will give a fuck about this trade like that.
There's players, especially at the quarterback position, that have overachieving years. And you don't hold them to that standard. You hold them to what the hell they are. Chad Pennington.
So what is?
You want me to?
So what is
I could name a whole bunch of quarterbacks.
We're not talking about them. We're talking about Carson Wentz. Who is Carson Wentz? What is his? Who is he? What is his caliber of QB?
Decent to good quarterback, middle of the pack, middle of the pack.
So Kirk Cousins.
I would say he's probably better than. I would say he's a little bit better than Kirk Cousins. He hasn't.
He's at the same tier.
Jimmy Garoppolo, same tier.
You don't agree, Shelton?
No, I couldn't put him up there with Kirk Cousins right now. I just don't think he's to that level. He makes a lot of mistakes.
Kirk Cousins is at the bottom.
What are you talking about? This is what bothers me.
Kirk Cousins ain't that low. No, he's not as low as Wentz.
Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback.
Kirk Cousins is not a great quarterback by any means, but he's not broken.
Kirk Cousins is a third-tier quarterback in the NFL. Third tier.
Nah, he's one of what you were saying, that low middle tier is what he is.
Nah.
But he's not as broken. When you talk about Wentz's problem is not how he's, physical. His problem is mental. That you can't get past. I'm sorry, it's more difficult to fix someone who's broken mentally than to fix somebody who's broken mechanically.
How do we know he's broken mentally? Like, how do we know he's broken?
How could he not be? Look at him. Have you
the guy had no receivers. He had a coach who clearly he had an issue with. He has no receivers. He was in a terrible situation in Philly. Like, look, like this idea that people want to act like Carson Wentz is Gus Frerotte. Like, this dude is talented. Like, the guy.
Did you watch him play?
The dude can.
Did you watch him play?
Did I watch him play? Carson Wentz?
How many games did you watch him play this year? Because evidently not many.
Okay, this year I can't even front. This year he was not great. But are you gonna base Carson Wentz's ability and career off of this year?
That's not what it is, Manny. Totality. We can go with the totality. Yes. He only had one good year.
No,
correct.
No, he didn't.
He had more than one good year.
In 2019, he threw for 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and had a 93 quarterback rating.
Yeah.
in 2019? Did he finish the season?
Did he finish the season in 2019?
He got
Yeah,
hurt in the
he started
playoffs.
16 games in 2019.
He got hurt in the playoffs when it
Okay,
counts.
playoffs.
But wait, hold on.
I have not. I'm
Hold on,
saying
hold on.
this. Hold on.
Wait, hold on.
But he still had a good season.
Okay, he had a good season. He had a good regular season.
To directly answer Shelton's point, we've seen countless of times, right? Even if you want to put the whole mental stigma on this guy, how many times a change of scenery helps players, especially
Many a
ones
time.
that had a situation like Carson Wentz
That was toxic.
that was toxic. You come in,
It
you're a
does.
top 2 pick. Hold on, you come in, you're a top 2 pick. You have immediate success. Then you have hurdles.
Jared Goff.
And then you have hurdles that you got to overcome. And then there's immense pressure on you because everybody's seen you at your best and now you at your worst. They don't have the requisite skill position players to help you succeed. And then now he goes to a team that has it all. Come on, what
So
are you
exactly.
talking about?
So
Let me-
if you
let me-
take out his rookie year and you take out last year, right? So if you take out his rookie year, which
The most
he had a
important
standard rookie year,
last year.
and then you take out last year, the
Right.
3 years in the middle, he had 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 21 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Like, but you
Now-
listen
now-
to everybody
now,
on Twitter,
let's-
you listen to sports media, you listen to some Philly fans, you would think that Carson Wentz was just this trash ass QB, and I just don't see it.
Okay, well let's talk about Carson Wentz versus Kirk Cousins because that's where it came about. That y'all said they were equal, correct?
I said they're in the
Kirk
I
same
said
Cousins-
Carson
tier.
Wentz is better than Kirk
I
Cousins.
said they're in the same
I said
tier.
Carson Wentz is better than Kirk Cousins.
Well, what I'm
record.
looking at all these
I do
stats
agree
from
with
last year, and I could be looking at the wrong thing. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but Kirk Cousins had 28 touchdowns and 8 interceptions, and Carson Wentz had 12 touchdowns and 13 interceptions. He threw for almost twice as many yards. His
When is
completion
where are you looking this up?
The stats. I was just looking up the stats. Let me see.
Pro Football
Completion
Reference.
percentage- Yeah, when you pull it up, when you first pull up Kirk Cousins versus Carson Wentz. So I'm
Oh,
seeing that
versus Carson Wentz.
Kirk Cousins threw for 42.65 last year. Carson Wentz, even though he didn't start every game, he threw for 26.20.
Okay,
And like I said, he had more interceptions, less than half of the
1 year.
touchdowns that
1 year.
the last year. That's all that matters. Is what have you done for me lately in the NFL?
Oh, okay.
No, hold on.
Hold on, hold on. Let me ask.
So
let
So
me
we're
ask
just
this
gonna
to
ignore
everybody.
2019, like he didn't throw
Yes.
for 4,000 yards.
It's over.
Let me
Oh,
ask
okay.
this to
Got it.
everybody. Let me ask this to everybody. Over the last 3 seasons, who has had a better roster around him? Carson Wentz or Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins.
And it's not even close.
I would argue a better roster, a better coach,
Thank
like
you,
a
Manny.
better infrastructure around him.
Beat Drew
And Kirk
Brees in
Cousins
the
is still a
playoffs.
disappointment. You talk to Vikings fans, they can't wait to get rid of him.
My point, the Kirk Cousins thing is not my point. My point is, I think the Eagles won. I think in the next 2 years, the Eagles win because, like Shelton said, they get off the bad contract. The pressure is on the Colts, in my opinion, to win because the Eagles are banking on Carson Wentz's success. So if Carson Wentz loses with the Colts, that proves Philly right, that we gave up on the player that wasn't not only good for us, but it seems like he ain't good for the league. But if Carson Wentz wins and showcases his ability and talent, the Eagles eat off of that.
I think
For
you're
their
giving
future.
Philly way too much credit. I think you're giving Howie Roseman way too much credit.
I'm not saying Howie Roseman is the GM of the fucking century.
No, I'm saying you did. I'm just saying.
for a GM, I'm just saying this, Manny. For a GM has won a Super Bowl in the last 5 years, and also it seems like he is setting up the future. He's been fucking up a little bit. To me, Howie Roseman reminds me of Jerry Reese with the Giants. The Jerry Reese Giant years, he won 2 titles, but in between all that, it was a lot of bullshit, right? But at the same time, you would never ask a New Yorker would never say take those 2 titles away to get rid of that motherfucker and what he did. Hell no. So my thing is like you have to recognize, just like we recognize with Carson Wentz and his past, with his success, we also have to recognize the past, the success of the GMs. Now, right now, we'll see moving forward how the draft picks and who he selects and all that shit. But for me, Howie Roseman drafted Carson Wentz with the potential of him being the next franchise QB. That didn't happen. But he moved on and he was able to build somewhat of a future moving forward. The future is now set on the Colts. Because if the Colts don't at least get to the AFC title game, because they did that at least with luck, with the roster that was even less than what it is now.
Yeah, but luck is that much greater.
Exactly.
though.
That's what I'm saying. But now you said the roster has matched the QB, right? You would say that?
Here's the thing.
Because the Colts could have beat the Bills if they had Carson Wentz.
They
Well, at
should
least
have
that's
beat
what we
the Bills.
assuming.
They should have beat the Bills if they had a Carson.
If they had a
Wentz
Carson Wentz,
quarterback.
and we don't know how far they get past that. So my thing is, Carson Wentz over the next 2 years has to get to an AFC title game.
He don't have to do that, but
He just got to make it to the playoffs.
That's not saying much because Phillip Rivers made it to the playoffs.
But Phillip
You just said he better than Phillip.
But
Carson Wentz
today-
has to
wait,
prove
wait,
wait.
that he's not the guy that he was this year.
exactly.
And get into the playoffs is
And
is
Carson
enough to
Wentz
do
is
that.
better than Phillip Rivers of this year. This
Yes.
version of Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers.
Over the last, I would say he's been better for Phillip.
Phillip Rivers played in the wrong era of football because this man literally had to go against Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. So he
Facts.
wasn't gonna win shit. But if you take that away, how many times this man don't been to the playoffs? How many passing yards? How tough
We're
he
not
was?
talking about career. We're talking. I'm just.
So
I'm
we're
talking
talk- But wait, hold on. But you want to talk about Carson Wentz's career? So let's compare the career
No, no,
because
no.
Phillip Rivers, career-wise, Carson Wentz can't hold shit to that.
Phillip
bro.
Rivers has never been to a Super Bowl, right? Has Phillip Rivers been to?
AFC title
He's been
game.
won the AFC title game, right? And he
He
lost.
played against
So,
Tom Brady and
he
Peyton
was
Manning.
hurt.
All I'm saying is that we're talking. The reason why I'm bringing up Carson Wentz, and I was even talking about his career, was the fact of his the expectations for what he was going to do is still there.
Not even.
It's
Because
not anymore.
Moving forward,
Not anymore.
not
so people don't
anymore.
expect him to be when he was with Frank Wright to be
Not
back
after
to that super, to
Nah.
that MVP level.
Season. Not after that
That
season,
shit came
bro.
down a notch. Bro. Look.
Yep.
Carson Wentz.
But you're
went-
still saying he's better than Phillip Rivers as of last year. Today.
Yes.
Okay, so make
I'm better than Phillip
okay,
Rivers
so,
right now.
so making the playoffs. Is
I
saying
don't know
what to
about
you?
that. I still don't know about it. I mean, like
About
I said, you
FIFO
talking
being
about
better
a
than
person
Phillip Rivers?
I mean, he threw more
Hey, I got
interceptions than
100 on it.
touchdowns. And like I said, what I've seen, what I saw when I watched Carson Wentz play is a person who's in his own way. It was in his own head. Now he did have a bad roster. He did have a few, I guess, the excuses we like to throw in. He had some, but for the most part, he was in his own way. A lot of those were unforced errors. That had nothing to do with how bad his team was. That was his fault. Those were his errors that he was making. Those were judgment calls that he went the wrong way on. So that's the person you're bringing into your organization and saying it's better than a person that's solid. I can't say that. I mean, Phillip Rivers is not great at all. He's past his prime, of course, but his errors are more physical than it was mental. Whereas Carson Wentz, I saw a lot of mental mistakes, holding the ball too long, throwing the ball in the awful coverage, just doing stuff that just didn't make sense. And he caused his team more harm than good, in my opinion. I'm not saying he can't turn it around. I agree with you in saying that when you go somewhere else, a new scenery, a new environment is good. But if you want somebody to be solid, you might as well have went with Jacoby Brissett. He was solid. He could have done the basic.
Jacoby Brissett is not Carson Wentz. Like he's just not. He's
But that's-
never
that's-
been.
that's-
He's never
that's-
shown
he can turn the
evidence
ball over
that he
there.
Hold
can
on.
be.
Manny, that's the thing that I'm kind of going on with Shelton is like I'm trying to figure out what is Carson Wentz because I feel like we all have
Better
our
than
own.
Jacoby
But
Brissett.
again,
I feel like
I laid it out for you, right? Okay, you look at his rookie year. Okay, you give him a pass because it's his rookie year, and even his rookie year wasn't that bad. 16.
No, but
16
Manny, the
touchdowns,
thing is,
14
the thing I like to do is
If
you take their best year and their worst year off their careers, and whatever's in the middle is who they are. So say those stats.
Okay,
It
so
was
if you
pretty
take his
good.
worst year, which we
Okay.
all agree, 2020 was his worst year, and his
Okay.
best year was the should have been MVP that everybody throws out there, right?
Okay.
Then he has a year where he threw for 16 touchdowns, 14 interceptions,
Okay.
and a QBR of 46.7, and I can't find a rating here, but whatever. 30. Then the next year is 21-7, 27-7, and then as far as yardage goes, he threw for 3296, 3074, and 4039. So like, you telling me that Jacoby Brissett can duplicate those numbers when you've never seen evidence that he could do that?
Yeah, the middle of Carson Wentz's season is good. This was the worst, and then of course the rookie year. So yeah,
Okay. So that's
And
what
even
I'm
his
saying.
rookie year wasn't that terrible.
But that's
His
and
rookie
that's
year,
what-
he almost threw for 4,000 yards.
So with those numbers, the expectation is not only is he better than Phillip Rivers, he's a top 10 quarterback.
No, it has tapered, Nick. You have to factor in
I don't understand. It seems like you're saying both sides to me. Like I don't.
everybody shitted on Carson Wentz this year. Nobody.
I
believes
get
Carson
that.
Wentz
I
gonna come
get
back.
that. But the reason why he got traded for whatever he got traded for to the Colts is the only team that wanted him based off the reports.
Chicago. Well,
No, Chicago
just-
never. They said
Chicago
Chicago
wanted
never
him
made a
too.
trade.
Go
They
ahead.
never made an
Yeah,
offer.
they didn't make an offer.
The Colts wanted him because Frank Wright believes that he could bring him back to that MVP level that he was at when he was with in Philly. If that's the case, if we're talking about a potentially MVP candidate, why is making the
do you
playoffs just
think-
satisfactory?
I mean, because I don't know.
Because-
Why do you
because
He
make
can make the
hold on,
playoffs
hold
with
on.
Jacoby.
Why do you
because-
think Philly
bec-
traded the Carson Wentz?
I think Philly traded Carson Wentz because it was a shit show. Because, like you said, the
Because he was
team,
broken.
the team wasn't right for him mentally. The weapons weren't there. It was like you were dealing after a Super Bowl. Sometimes you deal with a rebuild,
So you
and I
guys
think
are not,
Carson Wentz wasn't built for that.
So you guys are not taking into account the fact that Wentz just didn't want to even be there anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Like it was a
I
I'm
wish-
taking
said
this
it was
into
a
account.
shit
I think,
show.
I think it was a combination of Philly. I think it was a combination of Philly seeing an opportunity to get out of that contract. And I also think I also think it was Carson Wentz feeling slighted because the organization that supposedly
man, no.
is my organization, has my back or whatever, decided to go with Jalen Hurst, decided to go with Nate Sudfeld. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things. It was a
It's a shit
series
show,
of
that's what I'm
events
saying.
that led to this move. It can't
Yeah, it
just
was
be,
just-
well,
it-
it was
that's-
just Philly didn't think it was he thought he was trash.
Well, no, that's what it is his teammates lost faith in the man, and you can tell that they had lost him. That's what happened when the dissension came, and you notice how some spoke up for him, some spoke up
didn't.
against when they made the change. He had lost the locker room, so you had no choice but to move on at that point. Of course, you're gonna want out of a situation when you feel you're not loved and wanted by the people of your peers. That's what we were dealing with at that point. They didn't believe in him
All right,
anymore.
I guess we need to move on. But I think maybe it was a little bit of both. I think they did fire. It came across to me that they did fire Peterson because they value Wentz more than Peterson. And then
Mhm.
Wentz saw Nick Sirianni was like, no, the fuck am I staying here for no fucking reason? Get me the fuck out of here. And then he just bounced. So I think
Plus, I also think Peterson made a lot of enemies in that organization too.
Yeah.
'Cause from
He
what I
did.
hear, Peterson wasn't exactly the greatest to deal with on a day to day.
because they took a $18 million cap hit on that shit. That like
Yes.
It's a big hit.
This
It's a
is
big
not
hit.
like they just
Nah, and that's what I'm saying. It was a shit show. That's how
But,
bad
I mean,
it was.
God, like he getting out of that bad contract did them favors. It didn't.
It
They're
didn't.
locked up. For
No,
a
but
couple of years.
I'm saying, but it cleaned the slate for them moving forward with their rebuild.
Yeah, after
That's
this
all they're
year.
worried
Right.
about.
But here's the thing, right? Look, and I'm not comparing these two quarterbacks, but I think that the situations are similar, but they're not really similar. But we could look at it and compare and contrast. Mr. Thomas Edward Brady.
Bro.
was
Oh my
with-
God.
All right, let's
What you
move
got?
on.
No,
Listen,
no,
we ain't
no.
dealing with all that shit, bro.
Listen,
You don't have to
Listen,
cover this
listen,
anymore. Why you
listen,
listen?
What you bringing them up? Why you bringing them up?
Just listen.
And he said his
Oh,
own
man.
man.
Exactly. He didn't even say.
Can y'all listen real quick?
Nah.
Go ahead. Fico.
Last year,
That man
what the hell did Tom Brady do? Couldn't do shit. No O-line, no weapons. Shit show. 4 quarterback. Shit show. If I don't got the weapons and I can't be protected, ain't shit gonna happen.
You know what their record was, as with that shit show?
But that's Tom Brady though. That's why I said let's not
So
compare.
then-
Let's not compare the quarterbacks. Let's look at the situations. The man goes to a team that now has the requisite weapons, and the man wins a Super Bowl. I'm not saying Carson Wentz is going to go to the Colts and win a Super Bowl, but the year that it was a shit show, he looked like a piece of shit. Now he's going to go to a better situation. Why can we not deduce that he's going to look better than he did last year?
You fucked up when you mentioned Thomas Edward Brady. What you got? Nobody want to hear that shit.
Hey, real quick, we got a super chat. Caleb McCoy. I was gonna get to you, Caleb. I promise you, I'll never miss it when it come on there. But he said we got to stop ignoring how poor Philly was on O&D. So how they were a bad team. We do all agree that
Poorly
they were a bad
constructed
team.
team. Poorly constructed.
It was.
Ter-
It took him a whole season to come around that it was a bad team. Shelton?
No, I've always said it was a bad team, but we still not going to avert the blame for where it goes. Carson Wentz still is a bad player on that bad
I
team.
can check the chat.
It's just all it is. I mean, he's not the difference maker that he could or should be. So yeah, that's just what it is.
Well,
He's a Wentz hater.
we have all this off season and the regular season to find out if Carson Wentz is who we think he is.
Yeah.
So
Let me say this too, real quick too, Nick, before you go. Jacoby Brissett in 2019 threw for 3,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, and only 6 interceptions. So to say he can't do what what's the name does, I can't quite say that.
How many years ago back? He said 2019?
19.
19?
19. He didn't play in 20. It was Philip Rivers.
Because he got hurt one of those years, right?
Mm.
Was that the year he got hurt and lost?
No, that was 18.
Oh, 18?
Because he threw
Okay.
2017. He threw for over 3,000 yards. Threw
Yeah, I like
13
Jacoby,
touchdowns.
man. I fuss with Jacoby.
I do too. I think he's solid. I think
He's
more
solid. He's solid.
Shelton, you like Teddy Bridgewater, bro. Come on, man. Come on.
Man, Teddy coming off injury. Teddy
Teddy is trash. Teddy has a water pistol
trash
for an
is
arm.
trash is strong. Trash is strong.
Okay, Teddy is
Hey,
the
look,
best
man, I
backup
gotta-
quarterback in the NFL.
I'm gonna say this, FIFO. I got a soft spot for Teddy. That's all, man. From what he came back from, and that is true. But he ain't trash. He just ain't what
Jacoby
he was.
Brissett and Teddy Bridgewater are damn near the same player.
Teddy, I'm gonna use a baseball analogy, right? Teddy Bridgewater and Jacoby Brissett are like 4/5 starters in baseball. They have good moments. They have good days. They can have a good start here and there. You know what I'm saying? When no motherfuckers be hitting, they'll hit the highest of highs. But their medium point is just average. Like that's who they are. And that's what it is with Jacoby Brissett. And I say Teddy Bridgewater is a little bit better than that, but I mean,
But why?
honestly,
Why is Teddy Bridgewater a little bit
No,
better?
we getting off
Why?
subject. We ain't got to go to Teddy Bridgewater.
It's the same motherfucker.
Ain't nobody.
Yeah.
The only person that want to talk about Teddy Bridgewater is him and his mama. So we
And
ain't.
Shelton.
It's Shelton.
and Shelton,
Hey,
Shelton's
man.
the biggest Teddy Bridgewater fan I know.
I
Yeah.
am, man. Hey,
He Carolina till he die. Anybody put on that damn uniform, he gonna rep for no damn reason. Let's move on to the NBA. Shit, this is NBA season. Damn, the All-Star weekend is coming up next week
I'm
And-
gonna be at the
is it
house.
next
in
week?
Hotlanta.
Oh, wow.
Is it next week?
It's next week in Hotlanta. I think it's only on
Yes.
Sunday.
Yep.
It's March
One day
7th.
event.
Yeah,
The
March
COVID All-Star game.
It's hosted by COVID.
Playing with man.
This week they've announced the All-Star starters, and I think today they announced the reserves. So we're just gonna go through the list and have conversations about that. Let's break down the starters first. I'll start with the Eastern Conference. We got Kyrie Irving, Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Joel Embiid as the starters. When we go to the bench, we can do reserves right now too, right? Yeah, let's do the reserves. So the Eastern Conference reserves, we have James Harden, JR, Julius Randle himself, Jason Tatum.
Talking about Smith.
No, hell no. Not yet. Not this time. Even though he's a Knicks legend, 6th man of the year. We got Jason Tatum, and of course,
That's the only JR we know.
Only
you got-
JR we acknowledge.
if you got Jason Tatum, you know Jaylen Brown right there behind him, and that's what he is.
JB,
Zach
I like
Levine,
Jaylen Brown.
Zach Levine, Ben Simmons, and Nikola Vucevic. Those are the Eastern Conference starters and reserves. How do y'all feel about those selections?
I think it was pretty. I think I'm trying to think of someone. Can y'all hear me? Okay.
What
yeah,
up,
we
B?
hear you.
What up? What up? What up? Yeah, I'm trying to think of anyone I feel that got snubbed. I don't think
Not in
no
the
one
East.
got.
There's three snubs that they say.
Was Zach Levine on that list?
Yeah.
Okay.
Zach Levine, he reserved. I believe he was. I think I saw his name on that list.
So he
Yeah.
beat you.
And Bill didn't get snubbed this year, so I think they got it right in the East. Who I'm forgetting? Why I feel like I'm forgetting somebody?
Trey Young got snubbed.
Trey Young.
Trey Young.
He's struggling.
Yeah, he is. Who should have played over Trey Young? I mean, who should Trey Young should played over?
I need to look at that list again.
Yeah. No.
The three snubs they say out the East were, this is off of just me looking at the snubs list. They say Trey Young possibly was one, Tobias Harris, Sabonis.
Oh, that's huge. That was huge.
Sabonis and Bam Adebayo. Those are the.
I could say Bam.
I can. Yep. I was just about to say.
I'll always say Bam.
But
You can
the
make
Heat
an
are
argument for
struggling,
Bam. That's it. That's really it to me.
Sabonis though, B. Sabonis been playing ball, man.
Sabonis.
He was an
Sabonis is
all-star
probably the
last
biggest
year.
snub.
He was an all-star last year when people felt that Bill got snubbed. So, I mean, that's a good argument. Like I don't feel like that's a big problem.
But
Like,
So
yeah, who would you take off?
I have one question for Nick.
Mhm.
Did Bradley Beal make it?
Yeah.
yeah, he
Starting.
a starter.
Okay.
Yeah,
He got voted in.
the man for the 51 team that's potentially about to go.
They're about to go undefeated the rest of the way.
Hey, man, they going undefeated the rest of the way. I can't.
That 52 win prediction is. Whew.
They on a win streak,
Yeah,
man. Don't dock it.
Yeah, nobody's caring about Tobias Harris not making an all-star.
Hey,
Makes
we got
enough
a late quick super chat.
Bam is the only one I
Also-
would. Bam is the only one I would think. I'm sorry, Shelton. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I was just gonna say something. TJ Clark, appreciate that. I said I was gonna try to get him in quicker so y'all can put another one up there.
Okay.
TJ said, never forget, Nick, that Adam Thielen was better than Julio Jones. All because
Oh
he had
my
one
God.
season with better stats.
Oh my God. That's
Hey,
up there with that's up there with Steph Curry can't create his own
Gotta love
shot
him.
tape right there.
Hey,
Gotta love him.
Yeah.
I'll say this. Wait till just let it
Keep
go.
your receipts,
Just let it go.
Yep.
I'm gonna let it go.
Yep.
I'm gonna come back to that one though. We're gonna come back to that.
No,
No coming back to it.
Well, say what you gotta say, man. The man wrote in. He paid money to hear what you gotta say. Say
He
what you
is.
gotta say.
Hey, I'll say, look, when it comes to touchdowns, I'll take Adam Thielen over Julio Jones. I'll say that.
Okay. Now, hey, you can't argue with that, Nick.
When it comes to touchdowns.
The payday. Yeah, white folks good about going in some occupied territory.
But I can't knock this list for the starters and the
Yeah,
reserves.
Bam must be the only snub in my opinion.
But who would you take off, B?
Who's on the list again?
Who's on that list again?
So the reserves are James Harden, Julius Randle, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Zach LaVine, Ben Simmons, and Nikola Vucevic.
Probably one of the Celtic.
Ben or JB.
No.
Nah, they got
Yeah.
Jason Tatum. Because Jason Tatum missed some games, maybe?
Did you see what he just did to the Hornets?
He was balling.
Not the
What
Hornets,
you
but the
saying?
Pelicans.
Hey,
He
bro,
was.
you need
I
to
know
take
it's
the
Jaylen Brown to get that ball.
Hey, you need to take the
Yeah.
MAGA joint off, bro, because that shit fucking with your brain cells, man. Okay,
No.
Take off Jason Tatum.
He
Yeah,
said, 'cause
I
he
mean,
was hurt.
if you say you got to move one of them Celtics, somebody just said that.
I said
out
probably
of that list,
probably maybe Jaylen Brown for Bam.
There you go.
I can't say Jaylen Brown for Bam because
Who-
Jaylen Brown
who else?
has won more games this year than Jason
What
Tatum.
about Harden?
Jason
He
Tatum was
started-
out with COVID
No.
part of the
Harden
year.
deserves it.
Yeah.
Is Orlando
Harden
in the
deserves it.
playoff hunt right now?
Let me see.
No.
No,
Then
all
take
I'm-
Vucevic off.
I
all
thought
I'm-
about that too.
All I'm
Vucevic
saying
get-
is Harden
That's
because he didn't
cool.
start the year with the Eastern Conference and because of all the
Oh,
stuff happened or whatever.
You know what?
But
That's
he
a good.
balling,
You know
though.
what, FIFA? I'm gonna go with that. I'll take Vucevic off
He
for
is
Bam.
balling.
A big fella for a big fella.
Mm-hmm.
I like this version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
take
I like
Vucevic
this
off.
person Harden too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the Western Conference All-Star selections. The starters we got is Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, and Joker. And for the reserves, we have Chris Paul, Paul George, Damian Lillard, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, Zion Williamson, and Anthony Davis. I know a couple snubs off of this list.
Oh, D
Devin
Book
Booker's
off rip.
Devin Booker's number
Devin
one.
Booker's the
Hey,
biggest
Hey,
one.
hey, you know
Devin
what?
Booker
Go back to that East thing real quick. Kyrie Irving, I would take Kyrie Irving off the All-Star team if he wasn't a
All right,
starter.
Sheldon,
There's no
we
way
gonna
you
take
have
you off
Kyrie.
in this in a moment.
Take the
How
MAGA
you have
joint
Kyrie
off.
and
Have you not been watching the games, bro? You must not be
Yes.
watching Brooklyn.
Yes, I'm watching Brooklyn.
Okay,
That
so
man
do you
is
realize that
awesome.
Kyrie Irving's having the best career year of his whole career right now?
That's because he's playing out the ball because he relied on James Harden to do everything. That's why.
Kyrie.
You
is
keep making excuses for
balling,
everybody
man.
else.
I haven't seen.
Hey,
this
You
come on,
say
man.
Kyrie is
before.
off? What?
Yeah, that's who I would
who?
take off. Forget Kyrie for Bam.
You must be sweating a lot under that.
Yeah. well,
Jimmy
that's gonna- Come on, that's almost like
Shit
Nick
can't
takes.
breathe.
Yeah,
He not getting any
exactly.
No,
That's like
You
one-
got-
that's like
y'all
one of
give
Nick's
Kyrie
takes
too
right
many
there, man. Come on.
No, that's not a
Damn.
good take.
No, that ain't mine. That's all Sheldon
Let me
with
look at
that
Kyrie.
with that Where's Waldo's hat.
But that's
nigga.
on one of your levels, though. That's on one of your levels, though, Nick. Damn.
Nah, to me it's Devin Booker and De'Aaron Fox.
I mean, I like Fox a lot, man. That's
Fox
my-
is
that's
averaging
my guy.
some good numbers.
Fox was one of my underrated players when we did our underrated players
But
list.
you think he should have been an All-Star?
Over Zion,
who?
I would say to me Zion needs to be
Over
off this
Zion?
list.
Did you see what
Bro,
Zion
what?
did to the Celtics?
I'm saying
What?
these are the people that these are the two that I'm taking off the list. I think Chris Paul and Zion should be off the list.
Oh, you fucking.
I agree with Chris Paul.
Hell no,
But
Yeah,
you
you
Zion?
tripping
can't, you
too.
can't have Chris Paul
You
and
tripping
Devin
too.
Booker.
Look,
If you get-
Chris Paul is the reason why they're number 4.
That's not what
in
we're
the
talking
West.
about. That's not
Oh
what
my
we're
God.
talking
No,
about.
but look, you have to honor success. You have to honor team success.
So we doing lifetime achievement awards?
No, it's not
Would
about
you-
lifetime.
Exactly,
You
that's what it
just
sounds
different.
like.
Would you flip Chris Paul for Book?
That's what I'm saying. It has to be
No.
one of them.
Yes.
Both of them need to be on that team.
But it's not a lot you can take
Not
off.
both
That's what I'm
of them.
saying. Who you taking off,
Not
nigga?
both of them. You don't need both
Dame
of them.
Dame Lillard should have been starting.
Yep.
Dame should be over
Yeah.
Steph. I agree.
No, over Luca.
No, over Luka.
Over Luka.
Yeah, not over Steph.
Dame should have been Dame
That's
and Dame and Steph
bullshit.
should have both been the starting guards,
Yeah,
and Luka should have been been the first.
I agree with that.
I agree.
I definitely agree. Hey, we got a super chat real quick from We Them Boys. How does the best shooting guard in the West get snubbed? Is Devin Booker disrespected?
Yep.
According to LeBron,
He's not the
yes.
best shooting guard in the West.
Who is?
I don't think so.
I'll
either.
take Donovan Mitchell over Devin Booker.
See, this is why I know. Okay, I'm gonna be quiet.
Manny, am I wrong? Am I wrong, Manny?
No, you're not wrong. But it's not about that. It's not about that. I think Devin Booker should definitely be on this roster.
Yeah.
But
You know how
To
often
your
you wrong?
to your point though, yes, I would take Donovan.
I'm
Mitchell
just saying
over
Donovan Mitchell is a better shooting guard than me than,
Hell
than
no.
better
Devin
player.
Booker.
Yeah.
I've seen more from him than
Not by
I've
a
seen.
lot.
Nope.
I've seen Donovan Mitchell take his team to the playoffs, and I haven't seen Devin Booker doing that shit yet.
And
Better coach.
Donovan Mitchell has a way better roster. Way better roster. It's
Not-
not even
Right.
close.
Now he does.
He been had a better
When he got
roster.
when he first got there, it was not a better roster than it was with Phoenix.
Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix
Phoenix is
roster
trash.
was horrible, dude.
Phoenix trash.
This
Phoenix-
man,
Phoenix
man,
roster
Devin
is
Booker
trash.
was putting up 70 points and still
Like
losing.
I'm with you, Nick.
That's
I
how bad
was
that
with you.
roster
I was
was.
with you until the roster debate.
Yeah.
I gotta look at the roster.
Dude,
roster debate.
Nick, Devin Booker was putting up 70 plus and still losing. Look how bad that roster was, dude.
I'm gonna look at the roster.
What? Josh? Who they dropped in that
Josh
first?
Jackson. or
Josh
Josh Jackson.
Josh Jackson. Where he
Trash.
at?
I'm talking about.
Trash.
I'm talking about DeAndre
Trash.
Ayton. He was with he's like 4 or 5 years in the league, right?
Third year. Third
Eight?
year.
He's the same amount of time as Luca. He came in the same draft as Luca and
Third in trade. Third
Okay,
year.
then
in the
I'll
league,
take
bro.
that back. I'll take that back then.
That
Yeah,
Suns
yeah.
roster
That's what I
is
thought.
just-
That's what I thought.
That Suns roster just got decent last year.
Nonetheless,
But
my
I,
point
but
is
I agree
Donovan,
with you, Nick. Though I agree with you.
to me, Donovan
I would
Mitchell's a
take
better
Mitchell-
shooting
I
guard
would
than
take
Devin
Mitchell over
Booker.
I don't agree.
All right.
I don't agree either.
I think
That-
Book
that-
is the best shooting guard in the West.
Yep.
I think
I
that's
agree.
that's really close right there. You can't really,
It's close. You
Say
can't go
one
wrong
way
with
or the
either.
other.
You can't
Yeah,
go
you
wrong with
can't.
either one of them.
to be honest, they're kind of, and I get where both sides are coming from on that, because that's just too close to call. I would say Devin Booker edges him by a little bit though, in my opinion. But I still like I like D Mitch. I've always liked him. So
Booker should be on here over Chris Paul though. I'm sorry.
I think so too. Hey, let me
Yeah,
ask you.
You
we
gotta
got-
start
we got
bringing in the
another-
young guys. Like you
Yeah, I
can't
wouldn't
just
do
be
that.
having all these old heads in the motherfucker.
Yeah, like
just
once you get to like 11, 12 All-Star games, unless you're an immortal, unless you're
Dude,
like
though,
Kobe,
man, but
LeBron.
LeBron, yeah.
No, Phoenix was like one of the worst teams in the West, and you add CP3, and now you a 4 seed in the West. Damn, that's saying a lot.
The
dude.
West
This
is also down this year too, by the way.
And that's
Nah,
and that's
you
know,
and that's
the
that
fact
right
that you
there-
go from damn near one of a lottery team to a 4 seed in the Western Conference. That's
But
pretty
doesn't that hurt
impressive,
your-
man.
Doesn't what you saying hurt the Booker argument though? If CP3 has to come in and make all those that difference like that?
No, because Booker was balling before CP3 got there.
But the success of the team wasn't there.
Right.
Because they didn't have a fit roster. The same that me and people have been saying. They
already
had,
had
they
one
had to put a
player.
roster around that Booker.
But here's the thing though. When you look at that roster, right? There's more veterans this year because CP was signed, and then they went and got Jay Crowder, and they went and got other veterans. But before CP signed on that roster, who was one veteran that was even decent to get playing time on that roster, bro?
I don't know the roster that well, clearly.
But Utah had Joe Ingles, Mike Conley, even though he's washed.
Mike Conley just got there.
last year.
Yeah, he's been there for 2 years.
Okay,
or
so
a
who
year.
are the other snubs?
The other snubs
Y'all got
was
FIFA hype.
Mike. They said Mike Conley was a snub.
No.
No.
And also
Yeah, they
Shea,
said Mike Conley, which I don't
Shea
agree with
Gillis
at all.
Alexander.
No.
Gotta win more.
No.
He not ready. He not there yet. He on the cusp.
That's my guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're gonna bring up
the
De'Aaron Fox, I think it's fair to bring up Shea, right?
no 100%.
Yeah.
He brought up De'Aaron
I agree with
Fox.
that,
He
man.
did.
Oh, okay.
Look, I think De'Aaron Fox and Shea are both like on the cusp. They're right there.
I'm with FIFA.
They're rising stars. They're not all stars.
Yes.
Hey, we got another super chat from Caleb McCoy. Appreciate you, Kalen, as always. He was like Chris Paul ? So I guess he's saying Chris Paul shouldn't be on his team. So yeah, I
feel you.
I would
agree
say
with that.
we could. I mean, Paul George could be taken off too.
That's the guy I'm looking
Nah,
at.
Paul
you
George-
can't
Paul
take
George been balling. Paul George been.
But it's biased for me though. It's 100% biased.
FIFA,
It's
FIFA.
not a
Yeah, like he did.
He's been balling though.
Yeah, man.
He's been balling.
People are like he
Yeah.
did something to him. He must have took. I don't know what
Nah,
he
you
did.
know
the same way with Paul Pierce.
I was.
He hates Paul.
I
Pierce.
hate it. I don't hate him no more. But no, but you know why I hate Paul George? Is because he does all of this shit in the regular season, and in the playoffs, where the hell has he been?
didn't
the
play
last
Looks
four?
like
last
Tarzan
year.
plays like Jane.
The last 4 seasons, where has PG been?
Was he playing like this last year?
Oh,
Not like
Nah,
this.
No, not like that. Not like this
he
last
had-
year.
No, no.
Not like
He's
this
playing
last
better
year.
this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
no,
Paul George
100%.
always does this. But I'm with FIFA though. Paul George always does this. He looks incredible in the regular season, and then in the
Yeah.
playoffs he doesn't do this.
Yeah,
It
because
don't
he
It's not
matter.
like
He
he's
deserves
off
them
by a
all.
I mean,
point
but
or
the
two.
All Star
It's like
is
a
a regular
start
season. It's a regular season
I
event.
get it.
So,
I get it. I wouldn't take Paul George off I mean, the guy really the glaring addition is Chris Paul. Like, with all due respect to Chris Paul, he should not be an All-Star. Over Booker, over his teammate. Yeah, no.
Yeah, because that's what it boils down to. You're right, man. It boils down to the two of them, and that's where the question lies: which one? And it one was going to take out the other one, and maybe the peers thought that it should be Chris Paul. We have a couple more super chats, real quick. One from Fake News FIFO. Appreciate you with the different currency. I don't know what it is, DKK. Did y'all hear about the Messi contract? $670 million is crazy, which I have not heard about that. But if it's $670 million, I appreciate it.
That's that
Messi got
soccer
the
money.
biggest-
What happened?
Messi got the biggest contract in sports history.
$670 million. That's pretty good.
I thought the
Yo.
biggest contract in sports history was my man that's still getting paid up until like 2035.
Who is that? Bobby Bonilla?
Yeah,
Yeah, hey, don't bring that up, bro. Don't bring
that's
that
the
up.
best. That's the best contract
Don't
in
bring that
sports
up, man.
history.
Actually, I don't think it was worth the most though. It was just an amazing thing to still be getting paid.
It's
Man, I don't
because
care
it
how
was
much-
Steve Phillips
I
that
don't care
go
how
to
much
this
it's
shit.
worth. That's the best contract in sports history.
Don't.
You get
Speaking
paid
of
up to
contracts,
2035.
Switch topics, man. Switch
Hey, did
topics.
y'all see that?
This
that,
man
that
get
player?
167 million a year.
Yes.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Damn.
Yes.
Did you see the, did y'all
He's
see the
tripled
player that-
Mahomes' contract.
Mahomes really. And that's what I was saying. Mahomes really ain't getting paid shit.
But you guys got to think about it, man. These soccer stars on a global level, are
Yeah, they
They
run the world.
they
are.
they dwarf a nigga like Mahomes or LeBron, like as far as just
I
their
don't know
just
about
global
LeBron.
reach.
I don't know about
Yeah,
LeBron.
not LeBron. I think about situations like that. Like if you know, just like a regular job, if you're making that kind of money as a player, what is the organization? What is the club making?
Oh, you
It's
already
gotta
know.
It's got to
10 times
be
that.
stupid money, man.
10
You know what
times
I'm
that.
saying?
Those-
if I could afford-
2017 is when he got that contract.
Those contracts they give out, that's how much they pay in taxes. That's how much that organization is bringing in. They could bring in $1 billion and that's just taxes to them.
That's ridiculous, bro. Hey, what else is that? Did y'all see that? It's some NFL player. I got to find the article so I can talk about it. If anybody on the chat knows about it, you can talk about it as well. It's a player that asked for a part of their money in Bitcoin. Did you see it?
Yeah, I
Oh,
seen that.
That's
Yeah,
smart as shit.
It
I
was
seen
brilliant.
that. It's
because-
very smart.
Yeah, he's making a killer, but I can't remember the details to it. But I just remember my brother sent it to me, and I was like, man, that's crazy.
I forget who it is, but yeah, I know who you talk about, Shelby.
He's some lineman.
Yep.
And I thought that was a brilliant move.
Going back to the All-Star discussion, what about Brandon Ingram? You think he was snubbed?
No.
Nah.
No.
There's too many
No.
people in the West.
Zion's taking over that team now.
Yep.
It's becoming
Period, yeah.
Zion's team.
Yeah,
I agree
he
with
made-
you, but
he
I would-
make some big plays, but yeah, you once again
He's still
same thing. as
he's
he-
still their closer though.
Yeah, but
yeah.
but
Zion's been kind of stepping up.
But you
don't
if you
get
need a
to
shot,
that,
yeah.
you don't get to that position of closing without Zion. Like Brandon Ingram can't carry a team multiple games throughout the game. Like that's not how he's built. He's built as a scorer. Zion does a little bit of everything. He's not the greatest one-on-one defender, but he gets blocks, he changes shots, he bodies up, he gets rebounds, he gets he affects the entire game. Brandon Ingram doesn't do that.
Not bad for a guy who wasn't going to hold up because of his weight.
Right.
I never had that.
I ain't
that-
saying you. I know you
Yeah, no,
was.
no, I
you
know.
was the only-
I know, but I'm just saying, like
Well,
No,
I
I
was
wouldn't say
afraid
never.
for him.
I wouldn't
said
say-
that he could.
I was-
Don't say
lose
never
some.
then. Don't say
No,
never.
I said he could lose some, but I didn't.
I
think
know.
that was
I
gonna
know. I
happen.
said it. I know he said he need to lose some weight. So we'll see. And I think he did come in lighter this season than he did last season.
A little, but that man's still
Yeah.
big as fuck though.
I mean, shit. He's still a big.
Yeah,
we talking about NBA players, nigga. He's still a big
He still-
motherfucker.
Yeah, I thought he could stand to lose some weight. I did. I really did. And I was only concerned with his health and being able to play a full season like that at the level that he's at, because he's above where everybody else is. And it didn't look like healthy weight when you watched him lug up and down the court. Well, they had to teach him how to run again and all this stuff, all the extra stuff. I was like, well, maybe he just needs to lose a bit of weight. So I thought that.
He just has God-given talent, man.
He does.
He just has shit that you just can't.
Now I'm gonna tell you this: I'm most excited to see him in this All-Star game with all of those playmakers and shit. And then you talking about LeBron and some of these bigs, the Joel Embiids. He gonna catch a couple bodies, and people gonna be talking about that because I think this is like
want to play this damn All-Star game,
huh?
I said these players don't even want to play in this All-Star.
That's what I'm about to say. I would taper off your expectations.
My excitement level to this All-Star game is non-existent.
Oh, when they get on
the only reason I'm excited is do y'all remember last year's All-Star game? How good it was? Remember last year how they actually played last year?
Well, that was because that was right after Kobe's death. So like
feel
like that was. It wasn't because of that though.
I'm saying that I feel like the competition level was even higher.
That added it extra.
It was the new format that changed it all. Because think about how in the regular format before they changed it last year, they coasted for 3 3/4 until the last 4 or 5 minutes and then just turned it up. Now, with that fourth quarter, you're playing to a score. So there is no coasting. It's the first team to hit this score. So people, like, look, they may not want to play, but I don't give a damn what they say off the court. When they get on that court and LeBron busting your ass, you're just not going to bend over and be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to go out there and compete.
They want to play as far as getting on the court. All the other stuff that surrounds, like media and traveling.
Why are we worried about that? Why are we worried about that? That's not the game. Let's worry about the game.
It's not, but I mean, in the COVID world, it's like you sending mixed signals. It's like you can't tell me you're about COVID and taking this shit seriously, and you got now the Spurs now pause and play for 4 games or whatever, and then you having this meaningless All-Star game that realistically, I mean, you could have just.
It's not meaningless.
It is meaningless because
it's not meaningless. You know why?
Tradition
is not meaningless. Tradition is not meaningless. It means something to be voted an All-Star. It means something that the coaches say that you're All-Star reserve. It means something to your career. I know you play Madden or you play 2K or something. Every week that you do something good, you get legacy points. This is legacy points.
You could still get named an All-Star and not have to play the game. Like,
no, why do we have to play the game? Because that adds to the context of your career. Everybody talking about Magic Johnson coming back in Orlando. Everybody talking about Michael Jordan. Everybody talking about Larry Bird 3-point contest.
It wasn't COVID then either. So it's
but you know what though? But you're an athlete and you play in this league, and this league needs to generate money to pay you. So you gotta play this game.
Right. Okay. And like some of those first time guys, it's gonna mean a lot to them. 100%. To a LeBron, it wouldn't mean as much. But
what I'm saying is
some of these
you're
younger
still
guys,
going to be named an All-Star. Like, you could have had everything that happened today and not play a stupid-ass All-Star game on Sunday that honestly doesn't need to be played. It's mixed signals from the league. You can't tell me, oh, yeah, we're so concerned. We got to pause play. We got 2 teams now that basically aren't going to play for the next week and a half. Like, but oh, by the way, get on a plane and go to Atlanta and play in this All-Star game and also answer these questions during these press conferences. Like, it's stupid.
I agree with Manny.
That's just my opinion.
I agree with Manny on that.
Yeah, I agree with Manny as well. Only reason why I'm agreeing with Manny is because, we already had a shortened off season. A lot, a good chunk of these players, they need this rest. I think, like Manny said, you can still be named an All-Star. You can still be, hey, this is your your All-Star selection. You've been selected an All-Star. Let the players be off for a week and come back and retool for the second half of the season. So we can. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I'm looking at it.
All I'm saying is that you can have your cake and eat it too. Play the game, give them an extra week off after the All-Star game.
They ain't gonna do that though.
They're not doing that though.
They're not doing that.
They already got a shortened season. It seemed like they've been playing the game
everything in already as is.
Every day, yeah.
Right.
Game every day.
You cramming a lot of games because you're trying to fit these many games, in this certain amount of months. They should just gave them this week off, man, during the All-Star week.
Yeah, it would be nice, but that's wishful thinking. We're talking about people's money.
I know that. Yeah. I know. I get it.
We know that. We know how that works.
Yeah.
They made it clear. Player safety and all that stuff is important to them, but their money is more important. And they ain't playing no games.
The money gonna talk.
Exactly. So if the league would have presented, okay, we're gonna only play 50 games, but we're gonna reduce your salary by 50%, and you don't got to play the All-Star game. How many of those players do you think was gonna agree to that?
There wasn't.
So you're gonna play this All-Star game. You're gonna have a shortened season, and you're gonna have a shortened All-Star break.
But FIFA,
but hold
they
on,
saying
but
is two things can be true. You're right and
hold
they're
on.
right.
Wait, but based off LeBron's understanding, he was told that they were going to take a week off and not play the All-Star game, which is why he was so against playing in the All-Star game, because he was told before the season that, hey, since it's a short season, you got a short off season, only 70 days. We're just going to have a week off for the players. You can still have an All-Star selection. So that was LeBron's understanding going into the season. That's why he's pissed. Giannis is pissed, because it's like, well, shit, we thought we were supposed to have our week. And damn, like I had 70 days from the time I played in the NBA Finals. You told me I was gonna get my week off, and now I don't got my week off. So
well, I don't know why Giannis is pissed, because he had way more time than that. So he don't count.
I wouldn't say
He
way
don't
more,
count.
but I mean,
Bron, I get it. Bron, AD,
Yeah.
and anybody that played in the finals, okay, give them the week off, right? It's just like the Pro Bowl in football. Whoever made the Super Bowl, no matter how good you played that season, you don't play in the Pro Bowl. We skip to the Super Bowl, right? So those guys that were in the finals, if Bam made the All-Star team, he makes it, but he don't have to play. LeBron don't got to play. AD ain't got to play. But the rest of you guys, y'all got to play.
I feel what you're saying, FIFO. My issue is the mixed messaging of it and the fact that it's about health and safety. It's like, you can't tell me about health and safety. It's like when the NFL says, oh, we care about the safety of our players, but hey, let's add 2 extra regular season games. Like, really? Why? Like, it just doesn't add up, especially this year. I'm not saying every year. I'm saying this year specifically, in the circumstance that we're in, where we're still in COVID, even though vaccines are out or whatever. Like, there was no need to play this All-Star game. There just wasn't a need for it. You could have named the All-Star team, and then that's it. Had a little ceremony at each team's halftime show or halftime, whatever, and then that's it.
That's true.
Well, now's the time when you get the little, the hamstring injury and all that stuff like that for the stars, and let them sit out. If that's what you want to do. Yeah, but that's what it is. We got a couple super chats too. I'll try to get these in.
Now you could go ahead.
Quickly.
This is all for super chats. We done for whatever.
No, we still hadn't answered the main question.
What was the main question?
What's the main question?
Are the Lakers in trouble?
Yeah. I'm gonna get.
Go through the super chats and we'll close out with that.
Yeah.
Well, there's 2
I
things
think
I want to talk about. Go ahead.
I think DeMar DeRozan. First, this is from Brendan Irvin. Appreciate you, Brendan. I think DeMar DeRozan was snubbed from the West. I'll take him over Zion, especially with the Spurs, who are currently the 6th seed in the West.
There's a huge Spurs fan in this and who follows this our program, because this motherfucker he be fighting for these motherfuckers.
DeMar Rose?
Bruh, he said DeMar DeRozan.
DeMar Rosen?
DeNosen?
His mama must be in this chat.
I do respect the DeMar DeRozan, but
yeah.
I gotta look up his stats. What's I honestly haven't seen.
I wouldn't pick DeMar over Zion. I'll pick Zion, but I don't think Zion should be in an All-Star this year over Devin Booker. I don't see that being reasonable.
19.8, 5 rebounds, 7 assists.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's DeMar
DeRozan. So
that's
19.
That's all.
19.8.
It's tough to get in. With the amount of players that's scoring 25 or more this year.
At least you got at least hit 20, 21.
That's the problem with Bam and Jimmy Butler too. Both of them averaging 19 a game. So it's kind of like 19 this year. Unlike most years.
In years prior, that would have got you an All-Star.
Yeah. Most years it means something, but this year 19
you gotta be closer to 25.
Yeah. Like I said, I think this is the most players ever averaging 25 points a game in the history of the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching a video on YouTube. If y'all haven't watched this particular content creator, Jimmy High Roller, I want to say it was him, but he was talking about how many 30-point game performances up until this point is like more than double any other year. So the scoring is just way up in the NBA right now.
Yeah, no defense too. What's the next?
That's part of it. But offensive players have evolved even more. Defenses haven't caught up yet.
What's the next one, Shelton?
Connor Pearson Ward. Appreciate you, Connor. There's still a chance D-Book gets in because Anthony Davis will be replaced due to injury. That's what I believe will happen. Yep. Of course, they're gonna get Devin Booker in there. I'm sorry. And he deserves it, but still it's not the same thing as being named a
Right.
reserve.
Right.
But once
Yeah.
again, a lot of these guys are deserving this year, so that debate, can go on forever because you couldn't get everybody in there anyway, unless you're going to expand the All-Star team. So
We got another one.
that was the last one so far.
All right.
Yeah, I got two questions.
Lakers.
What about them?
What's good?
They
Struggle
lost
City,
40
man.
last 5.
Yep. Struggle City.
I'm-
Lost to Knicks team, the Wizards, last night.
Hey,
Oh, wow.
what? They on a I think
worried.
they on a 6-7 game win streak.
Bradley.
Five,
Hey,
bro.
hey,
Oh,
hey,
okay.
hey.
Temper that expectation, bro. They're not.
Hey,
Hey, shout out to
Hey,
shout out to Bradley Beal for closing that thing out.
Yeah,
BB.
What's the
What's
Wizard, What's the Wizards' record right now? I'm just curious.
don't worry about that, man. We climbing up to the charts. We climbing up to the top. Shout out to my man B2B, Bradley Bill.
So outside of the 4 or 5 losses they've had, FIFO pointed out LeBron's minutes.
Yep.
But they, in addition to losing those 4 or 5 games, they lost a 14-point lead to this Wizards team as well.
Yep.
The sorry as well, I guess the 5.
11 and
Wizards are
17 Wizards.
17.
11 and 17.
So then I was like, so based on what I've seen, I was like, this ain't looking good. So Manny, you're the resident Lakers fan on this show, so I'm gonna let you go first, my brother. Are you concerned, given the injury, the length of injury, and the amount of effort, or just are you concerned? Period. I'll just leave it like that.
I'm not concerned. A
Are
lot.
they in trouble?
I'm slightly concerned. I mean, anytime you lose 4 out of 5 games, you have one of your second best player is injured. Of course, there's going to be some level of concern. Am I over here about to commit suicide, jump out of a building? Oh my God, the building the sky's falling. No, of course not. I think we're still in a very good position, all things considered. So no, I'm not really that worried. But look, the Lakers haven't played. I think the most concerning thing is not the injuries necessarily, or even just losing 4 out of 5. I don't think the Lakers have just played well. Like they just have not played well. I mean, you talked about it. Even losing that 14-point lead. I mean, they didn't even really. I don't even think even when they were up by 14, even when they had that big lead, I don't think the Lakers have played really well in a span of about 2 weeks now. So that's the most concerning thing. And the defense is just not playing. It's not the same level. Obviously, losing AD hurts you on the defensive end exponentially. So obviously that's due to that. But yeah, defensively, which used to be the hallmark of this team, especially last year, it's just not there right now. So, and I think the other thing that people are not bringing up is losing Schroeder for the last couple games that we've lost. Because Schroeder,
That hurt.
you can make the argument. Well, I don't even think you can make the argument. It's legitimate. Schroeder's been our third best player this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So yeah, losing him I think has been just as big as AD. Because if they still had Schroeder and Schroeder playing at the level that he was playing, I still think we win out of those 4 or 5 games that we've lost. We win 2 or 3 of those, and it's a different conversation. So, yeah, I'm slightly concerned. I'm not overly concerned.
Do you think LeBron needs to do a little bit more to get some of these wins, or not?
No. I mean, LeBron is doing what he can. We all know where I stand as far as LeBron James goes. But my issue with LeBron is that late in games, man. Like that game the other night, when he passed up to what was that game on Saturday? I think it was on
Alex
Saturday.
Caruso.
Yeah.
When he passed to Caruso, LeBron, you can't pass up to
Man, that was another all-star
I
snub.
understand the good basketball play and everything.
He could have
like that.
he could have drawn a foul on that.
You gotta take
They
it to
weren't
the
gonna
basket,
call
bro.
it.
You gotta
But
take it.
Manny, he been missing free throws too. So
That's his
Yeah,
career. That's his
why has
career.
his free throw shooting been so
But see,
horrible, dude?
and not to bring up the tired Jordan LeBron debate, but I mean, you can't hit free throws. I can't consider you the GOAT, man. Like, come
Yeah.
on, man. You gotta
Especially
hit
when
the
it
free
counts.
throws.
Never hit free throws.
Late
That's
in
his
the game,
career.
come on,
That's his whole
man.
career.
Look. There's no such thing as a perfect player, and this is one of his Achilles' heels. That's just what it is. Like
That's a
you
hell of an
can't-
Achilles heel, FIFO. That
Especially
motherfucker, that shit is popping out of his legs. That's how big.
Shaq can shoot free throws.
But he does so much else
I
at such a high
understand.
level
I
that
understand.
he's
Look,
not
I'm
going to be
not-
perfect.
I'm not trying to criticize LeBron. It's coming off as a criticism, but I'm not trying to. But it's like as a Laker fan, like he's never been this bad as a free throw shooter. Like he's
Yeah,
gotten progressively worse as a free throw shooter.
That's my only issue. I
Yeah.
get what you're saying, Vivo, but yeah, I'm just saying his
Like
free
he's
throw
gotten
shooting has bad.
worse as a free, like bad.
Correct.
And you know who else? You know what other great that happened to? Tim Duncan.
Sure did.
He started
But
off
see,
85% free throw shooter.
Yeah,
He
that's
wound
true.
up 60
That's a hell of a point. That's a hell of a point. But Duncan's a big man. It's a little different.
I mean, he's still
Yeah,
fine
it's-
though.
it's a
He's
difference.
still
I
fine.
would
It's a
say
difference. He's a big
I
man.
would
I
say
give Duncan a.
No,
if
hold
a
on.
big man shoots 80% from the free throw line, like that's almost
But
a
he was
bonus.
consistent
Like,
over multiple years, man. Like he was.
Yeah, he was-
And he
I
had a
get it. I
consistent
understand. That's why I said
mid-range.
it's a good point. It's a good point. I'm not taking
the
anything away from
expectations
it.
for Tim Duncan are different than LeBron James. He's
From a
Tim
free throw
Duncan,
perspective.
Tim Duncan ain't
From
considered a
a
GOAT.
shooting perspective,
He
period.
was considered the best player at his position
Is
all
he-
time.
have we ever said he's
So
all
LeBron
time
is a
top
perimeter
five,
player.
period?
LeBron is a perimeter player.
No.
Like it's a
Okay,
different
Manny,
expectation.
Yes, he's a perimeter player, but at the end of the day, the expectation, regardless, when
Yes.
you are one of the best ever,
Yes.
is to win multiple championships.
And yes, the
It-
point.
it-
But
it don't
lots
matter.
of big,
The point
but
you
lots
guys
of
are
big
making
men
is
did
that
not
in the
shoot free
clutch-
throws well. Like
in the
it's-
clutch, late in the games, you want your best player to be able to hit free
Yes,
throws.
yes,
And Tim Duncan
yes.
was the guy
Yes.
that they expected to do that. At one point, he was doing it. As he got older, it diminished.
But I'm just saying
But
we
that
have
was
high
late
expectations.
in
Well,
his
see,
career
well, see,
when Duncan
well-
wasn't that guy anymore. LeBron is still that guy. Like
Yeah.
that's still that's a sore subject for like that's not the reason why they're losing. To me, the only thing that pisses me off about LeBron, I think right now I would say he's the MVP just because how he's played, and up until a week ago, the Lakers had one of the best records in the NBA.
Mhm.
That being said, like late in games, man, LeBron's got to be more aggressive, man. You can't pass it up to Alex Caruso to win you the game there. Like that's
That's
Nah,
that's what he do all his
Yeah,
life,
I just-
man.
I
Y'all know- y'all should
understand.
be
I
used to
get
this
it.
by
I
now.
get it. But still,
But like
That's another
you
Achilles
said
heel
it,
you got.
but- yeah, you said it yourself though, man. When we talking about the GOAT though, when LeBron got fouled coming down with seconds left on the clock, if that was Jordan, we wouldn't be thinking about whether he's gonna make a miss this free throw. And it shouldn't even been a question that he was gonna make that free throw at that point. I ain't thinking about Tim Duncan. I ain't thinking about Shaq. I ain't thinking about nothing. I'm thinking about LeBron. LeBron should be able to hit those free throws and call it a game. That's game time at that point for a player of his caliber. Just like making that pass out of that double team. He passed before the double team got there. I agree with relying on your teammates to make things happen, but at some point, you got to be the man, just like he did. He did it in the Wizards game when he took that ball to the hole and got fouled. That's all he had to do in the game prior to that. They would have won the last two games as opposed to losing them.
How,
So it just is what it is.
how
But
long?
you're right that.
Mm.
No, go
No,
ahead.
go ahead. Finish.
No, I was just gonna say you're right, and Schrader being out, man, I think was the best point you made. I think that really hurt because he's the one that's gonna put daggers out there, and he ain't really scared. So
and that's
you're
more of an
missing that.
onus on LeBron to do even more now that Schroeder's out
Mhm.
too.
right,
How long has LeBron been in the league?
18,
something like
18
years.
18 seasons.
How many times have you passed the ball to the wide open to a shooter?
Every time.
How many
I'm
times
not
have you
arguing-
missed
I'm not-
clutch
I'm not-
free
I'm
throws
not-
down the stretch?
I'm not arguing that, Ken. I'm just saying.
I'm
like,
addressing you and Shelton. Like we keep 18 years. The same thing
guy.
keeps coming.
what's the definition
up.
of insanity?
It's just
Mhm.
like at some
But you're the
point.
one trying to change it. You're not the one accepting it.
It's-
I
yeah,
know
I
what the
just
hell
like-
he is.
it's
No, and,
just-
and honestly, like it doesn't bother me all the time, but I feel like some part of being a great player is feeling out the temperature of the room, especially feeling the temperature of your team. Like the Lakers are struggling. Like sometimes when you that guy, like there's games where you got to be like, yo, I'm winning this
and
game.
we've seen him do that though. It's just now he doesn't feel like the team is in crisis mode yet. But when it hits, we've seen
Shit,
LeBron be like, all right, you know what? Enough's enough.
LeBron be having 2 or 3 extra gears over everybody else he plays against.
So
It's just not time for them.
My-
He older. He got to turn that
I'm-
on when he needs to.
Playoff mode's not activated yet.
No.
Well, we know what he said last time when he said that. But I'll say this.
Exactly. That's why I brought
I'm
it
just
up.
saying
Yeah,
this.
you a hater.
I'm saying I'm not hating on
he
LeBron.
didn't say it last. He didn't say it last year, but he did win a title.
Yeah, he
by
needed.
not
Yeah,
saying it,
his
so.
actions speak louder than his words. My thing
Yeah,
is like
last year was already activated. It came
I'm not-
pre-activated.
Being disrespectful.
I'm not
You
worried about.
low-key being disrespectful.
I'm not worried about
Yes,
the
you
Lakers.
are.
I'm not worried about the Lakers.
It was the. Well, never mind.
I think the Lakers. I think the Lakers are actually fine. I think they're because they won a title last year. Their expectation is not to be the number 1 seed or whatever the fuck. Because they've already played through that. They played like whoever's the number 1 seed
I
home
think
court
those
home court
expectations-
advantage don't mean shit
I
this
think
year.
those expectations will change based on what has happened now with AD getting hurt.
I think AD will come back fine. I think they've been listening to B and everybody else on the show saying like you need to
He
get that
better
motherfucker.
back. He better come back fine.
Yeah, they gonna wait till the playoffs to bring him back,
Mhm.
which is fine. And I think he'll be good, and then LeBron will be fine. I think it's all about maintaining this regular season.
They're not winning the title this year.
I'm not gonna say that.
Already, we're just going. Who's winning it over them?
I will say that I do like Utah.
Don't say Brooklyn, please. Don't say Brooklyn.
Wait.
I will say I do.
Are you gonna say Utah can beat the Lakers?
No, I'm saying I do like. I think Utah will be a big surprise.
They're a contender.
Yeah, for this.
They're a
season.
contender.
I'm not saying.
Okay.
I think the Lakers are still the favorites. I'm not gonna say that until they get knocked
I'm
out.
with you, Nick. Like, because that's one of the reasons why I'm only slightly concerned. Because honestly, like, there's not another team in the West that really scares me as a Laker fan. Like,
Yeah,
there's-
exactly.
No,
Honestly,
they're not in
there's
the
just
West.
not that team. Like in years prior, where you had a Houston running the way they were running, or even Golden State being where Golden State was at. There's no other team right now that's even
If
close
the
to
Clippers had a
Manny, what about if a team like say Denver again gets hot like they did last year this time?
Denver.
Denver
Wouldn't that
ain't
scare you
shit.
a little bit.
No.
Denver
ain't
has
shit.
the talent to do it, but Denver hasn't played well this year, so I can't say that right now. Now, obviously, in a few weeks, if they run off 10 of 12 or whatever, then obviously
Right.
the conversation changes. But honestly, right now, I don't see. I mean, maybe the Clippers. That's the
if
only
the
team
Clippers had a
I'm
point
comfortable
guard, if the Clippers had Rondo, I would be like they could challenge them, but they don't really have anybody running the show. So
and
it
they
is
have
what it is.
Tyronn Lue coaching, so I'm not worried.
Oh my god.
I'm not gonna go that far. It's Black History Month, man. Come on, chill out.
Barring
I-
the MAGA hat from Shelton.
I think the thing that
Nah.
sort of concerns me with the Lakers so far is that I think there's a lack of confidence I'm seeing on the team that they started the season with when they were just running over everybody. Some of them are in shooting slumps, KCP, and they haven't really found it. I think maybe boredom, the rotation. So, but I'm just not seeing. I think you're spot on, Manny. They haven't played the same in the last 2 weeks, but I'm not seeing that same type of we're gonna do this shit and beat anybody that steps on the court that I've seen. So that's
feel
the
like
only
a lot
thing
of-
that concerns me.
I feel like what you just said there. I think boredom is also part of it. I think you win a championship and you just go through the dog days of the regular season, right? Where it's just like that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows there's that middle portion of the regular season where you just like, I just get through it. You know what I
It's
mean?
just
So I think
4
they're
weeks
probably
is a long time, man. Like
yeah.
that.
It
That's a lot of
is, but
games.
Well, I'm asking y'all now as a Laker fan, should the Lakers possibly pursue a Blake Griffin or a
They may get Cousins.
Marcus Cousins?
Yeah,
Or
Cousins.
or Cousins?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of Cousins talking. I think they definitely should because they're gonna need some help in
Yeah, they gonna
case
need a big
KD does
body,
not
man.
come back the same. Plus, Marc Gasol just doesn't look good like that. So
No.
in saying
Marcus
that, they're gonna
Gasol
need
looked
some
like
help.
Pablo Escobar in the last
Yeah.
season of Narcos that he was in. That
Right.
motherfucker looked done.
But
Yeah.
he is.
He's a shell of himself now.
Yeah,
he's not
it's
the
a wrap.
Memphis Grizzly Marc Gasol.
He can
No.
still make some pretty good passes. I mean, his IQ is still there, but it's just
Hell, he's
that-
not
that's
even the
about it.
Toronto
Yeah.
Raptors, Marcus.
He ain't even, bro. He built like he been retired.
Mark on his
It,
way.
it
Yes,
look like
I-
they got a big ass fan to be on the court. So Marcus Gasol is washed. I don't know why they got that motherfucker
it's-
out there. He
I
is a
don't- I
waste
don't
of a
know.
jersey.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't keep Dwight
I
Howard.
won't go that
man.
far. I don't think he's a waste of a jersey, but he's not the same guy that he was even just a couple
Nah.
years ago.
But yeah, I think what y'all think about the Nets, man? I think the Nets gonna win it this year.
I think the Nets are the scariest
The
team
whole
in the
thing,
NBA.
kid? The whole thing? They're gonna win it
I
this year?
think
The
they're
whole
gonna.
I ain't gonna say
think
that.
they're gonna win the whole thing.
They're the best team in the East. I'm sorry. I think Joel Embiid is the MVP right now of the
I
NBA.
agree. I
But
agree.
Kyrie, James Harden, they doing this shit without KD.
Yeah. it's
Think
tough-
about when
it's tough
Kevin
to
Durant
top.
come back. What LeBron and AD gonna do? AD still probably gonna be coming off the injury. LeBron is playing on so many minutes he might get an
Sounds
injury.
nice. Sounds nice. I gotta see it. I gotta see it when the
I'm
games
just
really
saying.
matter.
I'm just saying, Manny.
You saw it, Manny.
I'm just saying
You
you ain't
seen
got.
it.
You have no point guard that's better than or guard that's better than Harden or Kyrie on your whole roster.
I understand
Correct.
that.
And Kevin Durant right now in his career is arguably better than LeBron. So
Correct. You at all times gonna have a Hall of Famer on the court. Like,
that
what can
sounds
you do with
good.
that? Barring
Defensively,
injury.
defensively, they're trash. They're starting. Who's their
They've
starting?
gotten better.
They've gotten better, but still, do
No,
is
Manny,
Steve
you
Nash
need to
still
look-
proven in a big spot?
look
that he
at
can coach.
look at their record against over 500 teams.
That's nice. That's wonderful. I get it. I just want to see more. That's it. I just want to see more. I want to see it when the games really matter, when the basketball gets tight, when it gets physical.
Did
know
you
what
watch
I'm
the
saying? I wanna
Clippers game?
I watched it. Again, it's a regular season game.
That was a
Uh,
tight game. That was it had playoff energy.
It did. It really did.
It did, but until the calendar changes to April, May, June, that's what I mean by
Manny
the game.
Manny just want to get to the playoffs. That's all he want to say.
Get to
So
the
he
playoffs,
don't
baby.
have
That's
to.
all.
He don't
Like,
have
hey,
to worry about the
that's
East.
cool.
He don't
I'm
have to
not
worry
taking
about the
anything away
East
from
until
Nets.
the finals.
What the Nets are doing is impressive. Like even I, who I can't stay, I don't like the Nets, but like yeah, I got to give them credit. They have gelled and have played far better at this quickly than I ever thought they would. That being said, I'm not gonna go to Vegas and put down a fucking second mortgage, all my second mortgage on the fact that the Nets are gonna even make it to the finals. Like yo, I got to see more. I got to see how they react when the games get to that juncture of the games where things get tight, the pressure, the postseason atmosphere, like everything, like that matters.
So Manny, based off what you're seeing right now, do you think that they're in a better position than the Lakers currently?
What I'm seeing right now, right today.
Yeah.
Yeah, today, yes, they're better than the Lakers right now from what they're how they're
'cause they got
playing.
injuries and shit. Now,
Yeah,
It's a good question, but an unfair question because the Lakers.
It is.
right. It's like
It is because they're incomplete. But then again, you can say the same thing about the Nets because KD ain't playing either.
Yeah, but they still. I mean, but
yeah, but they still have.
They got.
like,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah,
point.
it's yeah. I get the question. Like, yeah, if the season ended today, who would you feel better about, the Lakers or the Nets? Yeah, I would say the Nets.
this
Obviously, I'd be an idiot
this
not
is
to.
why I don't like the PC talk on this show. Because Manny talking about some, let's wait and see. He gonna say that all the way down to the NBA Finals. All right.
That's it, yeah.
And then
What's wrong
and
with that?
if Brooklyn don't get there, he can be like, look, I told y'all these motherfuckers wasn't shit.
I got it in the
early
chamber.
on."
That's all. That's smart money right there.
Yeah.
Nah,
got it in
nigga,
the
we come here for drinks and hot takes. All right.
But yo, I said that last year about the Clippers. I said I said that last year about the Clippers, though. I was like, yo, let's just wait and see. Like too many times, bro. Like, and we've all been victims of it to a certain point, right? Like we're like, a team wins 5 in a row. Oh shit!
But this team is different
are
than
they
the
gonna-
Clippers. This team is a whole lot different.
Yeah.
There's a lot more champions on this team than it was on the Clippers. As far as like MVP
okay,
championship
Yeah,
level.
these are proven playoff players, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Except Harden.
Outside of James
did
Harden.
miss 2 free throws.
Outside of James Harden. And hey, you can't ignore that. James Harden in the playoffs turned into
Yeah,
Cliff
but
Harden.
he's the second, third string on this
Jeff
team.
Harden.
Yeah, he's the third best player on this team, according to how it lines up playoff wise.
And they could
They
go
call
from
him
James
Jim
to
Harden.
Jeff real quick.
Jim Harden.
Jamie Harden. I think go to Jamie Harden real quick.
Hey V, you watched
Nah.
that Clippers game, man, didn't you?
Yeah.
What you think, bro?
I mean, Clippers look dangerous. And what I saw from that Clippers and Nets game, if the Nets can just learn how to get I'm not saying the Nets got to be, all-time defensive team, but if they can just learn to get crucial stops in big moments in games, they're gonna be scary. I mean, they're gonna definitely be scary. Now, y'all know I've always been critical of Nets defense because their defense still sucks. But like I'm saying, if they can just learn to be like, all right, cool. Fourth quarter, 9:08 left to go. Let's get these stops for the next 3 minutes, and we can coast. Like if they can learn to just get stops in moments, I think the Nets.
You're
be good.
asking for a lot.
And for what that's not asking a lot. Just
I don't
to get,
think so.
stops.
Nigga, D'Antoni is still on the sidelines. That's asking for a lot.
I would say
No, I
this.
think
The,
Go ahead.
the biggest unkept, the motherfucker we have not talked about at all, really, all season long. Mr. White Man himself,
Steve Nash.
Steve Nash.
I did.
This
Yeah, you
this
did.
team is
Yeah.
without a coach. Kyrie was
Yeah.
right. We don't need no damn coach. I have not. Have you even seen him with a clipboard or nothing? I don't see that nigga at all.
They
nigga.
don't even show Steve Nash.
That
They
nigga
don't
just
show
rolled the
this
ball
nigga.
out there.
They
Like, all right,
don't-
guys,
they
go.
they did not show Steve Nash.
That nigga just rolled the ball out there. Like,
Hey,
here you go.
Steve
Go,
Nash
guys.
is just there for the ride.
Yeah, sometimes the best coaches know to stay out the way. And,
True.
and to be
That's true.
honest,
All right.
sometimes
So,
you
to a point,
cut
that's
his
true.
mic
Yeah,
off.
to a
Cut his
point, that's
mic off,
true.
Ken. Cut his mic
To a
off.
point, that's true.
sometimes
point
you learn to stay out the way and trust your assistants to
To
do their
a
job.
point, that's
Trust
true.
what,
Joe,
nigga? You
but
just
still.
got there, nigga. We don't even know how
Still.
you coach.
Yeah, you may never know.
Steve Nash got
never know.
substitute teacher vibes written all over him. He like, hey, whatever the
Steve-
lesson y'all learned last week, just do the
Hey,
same thing.
Hey, man, Steve Nash, an adjunct professor.
Oh man,
He a TA. That nigga was a TA. He ain't shit.
No disrespect to Steve though.
Nah, fuck all that. Nah, fuck all that. It's all disrespect. That nigga ain't shit.
That's Steve Nash now. We gotta throw some flowers there. But
Mark Jackson can't get a job for shit. But they give this random ass motherfucker who played well in the NBA.
He not random.
Played well.
He random for this team.
Two-time MVP.
He random for this team, FIFO. Is he not?
Two-time MVP.
Is he not random for this team?
Two-time
When you
well?
saw that he was the head coach,
No.
did you not say that? Damn, that's random as hell.
Nash.
No, because the connection was KD.
Is he?
Like Steve
He was
Nash
an
is
assistant
Tom
coach for the
Chambers.
Golden
Like,
State
Where is
Warriors.
he connecting with the team? Have you seen him on the
Well-
sidelines? Have you seen him?
Phone
I'm asking
FIFO
a
was back.
question.
Phone FIFO was back.
Stop it, quiet.
Phone FIFO was back.
And Shelton, we about to replace you with a super
that's
chat.
That's what Steve Nash do on the sidelines. What people doing right now, just looking at the phone. That's all they got to do. That team still what they're supposed to do.
Nah, I mean honestly, that's one of my biggest concerns with the Nets. Right, is Steve Nash. How is he going to respond in a big crucial situation, big postseason moment where he's a timeout, a play, or whatever? That stuff matters, right? Like I know sometimes we tend to focus so much on the players, and obviously the players are the players, but coaching does matter in the NBA. Still, I still believe that. So,
especially in playoffs, yes.
Especially
yes.
the postseason, so,
Matchups
yeah.
and coaching matters in playoffs.
Yeah,
yes.
it definitely matters. So yeah, I got to see more. That's why I'm saying I got to see more. I still have to see more. Now, if the motherfuckers come out in the first round and the second round and just steamroll, then yeah, I have a different take.
If they can just learn to get stops in key moments, man. That's sometimes offensive teams like that, you have to have that ability to do that. Just be like, okay, look, we ain't the best defensive team, but I'm telling you, in crucial moments, if they can learn to like step it up, they'd be good, man. They'd be good.
Hey, we got another super chat from Corey Lyons. Appreciate you, Corey. Teams need to stop trying to go shot for shot with the Nets. Embiid
Right.
going to eat all day.
You can't-
if you play them
can't do
inside
that.
out.
Yeah.
You cannot go point for point with them boys.
Yeah, Embiid's going to eat all day if you play them inside out. Nets can be exposed for their lack of size.
The Clippers almost did though. For a
Embiid.
while, and then they got down 14 points, and then
Embiid
Landry
to
Schmidt
eat.
started doing dumb shit trying to.
That's the interesting team for me is Philly. Are y'all all the way sold on Philly?
I think that they match up with the Nets because where their strength is where the Nets' weaknesses are. And we know that playoffs are all about matchups. So you're 100% right. You can, if Embiid could dominate, if Ben Simmons could use that size and that court vision, they could slow down the Nets. Can't nobody outscore them, huh?
They've been balling lately too.
And they have been balling. Now,
Yeah.
I don't think there's no team in the NBA except for Golden State when they're 100% healthy that can go shot for shot with these guys.
Mm-mm.
So the way Philly is constructed, they can be. I'm not confident in it. I'm not.
But a FIFO, this is crucial too. With the Sixers, you can throw different bodies at Durant.
Yep.
That's gonna
You
always
can
be
throw
a
Ben
key.
Simmons. You can throw Embiid.
Tobias Harris.
Tobias.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys you could throw at, because here's the thing. When you got a juggernaut 3 like that,
Yeah.
one of them motherfuckers gonna eat. And
One
you
of
just
them.
gotta
Yeah.
and you just gotta be like, okay, go score 50, bro.
In the
We not-
postseason,
we
who's
can't
the
do nothing
closer?
with you. But
In the postseason, who's the closer?
Kevin Durant.
one of those guys, you have to make it extremely difficult for them to even just be on the court. In my opinion, that is KD because Philly has those bodies to throw at him. James Harden, you got to make it more difficult for him to find other guys. And obviously, we know James Harden can score 50 if he wants to. So that's a whole nother task in itself. But in my opinion, the pecking order is let or try to slow down KD as much as possible. The second guy is
Kyrie.
no, James Harden. You let Kyrie go.
Yes.
You let Kyrie go.
Yep.
Because Kyrie does
Kyrie's
not,
efficient though.
but Kyrie
Yeah.
doesn't affect the game in any other way but scoring. So you take away everything else. Let him score.
And Hero Ball is going to sit in with him.
Exactly.
That's what happened against the
But
Clippers.
he
kept trying to go for the
But
big
do
shot.
you not feel like he's becoming a better team player?
No, he's just more so playing a more natural position. He's a lot like AI in the sense that mentally he's a 2 guard, physically he's a point guard.
Yep.
So by having James Harden play that point guard position, it allows Kyrie to naturally be who he is.
And that's why he told James Harden, you playing point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So to me, as a coach, okay, we're going to let Kyrie score. Because the way
I would
Kyrie
too.
scores is very one-on-one.
Mhm.
He don't got to get set up. He don't do no back doors. He's not going to beat you in other ways. He's going to beat you by him, and then you can't stop him. You remember a couple years ago when he was still with the Cleveland Cavs, and he was shitting all over Klay Thompson? Christmas game,
Yep.
finals, and Klay is literally the best on-ball defender in the league, and he can do nothing with him. Draymond can do nothing with him. So you let Kyrie do what he does. But KD, no, hell no.
But KD's he's the most
I
efficient
disagree. I
scorer
think-
of all time.
I disagree. Yeah, KD.
Hold on. So everything that I'm talking about is a matchup of Philly versus the Nets. I'm not talking every NBA team because every NBA team can't do that.
I'm just saying even about KD. KD can score. He can shoot 20 shots and have 45 points.
But but how many teams have the young bodies that Philly has to throw at him?
Ain't nobody gonna do shit to KD.
They're not stopping KD, man. KD's unstoppable.
Who
That's
said-
why
who
I'm like,
said
to me,
stop?
Don't even say. I mean, what is slowing down for KD? What do you like? What is he only like 20, 25 points?
But here's
low
the thing: if
40%.
you're letting Kyrie do what he do, then KD is not getting
I'm
no shots. off.
gonna let KD do what he do. I'm gonna let to me, I'm gonna just chalk it up. KD, because
Hell no.
I'm gonna just chalk it up as a coach. I'm gonna be like, there's no stopping this motherfucker. Like,
No,
this is God-given talent right here.
You
Like-
know why I think you're wrong? Is because KD has the most physical advantage on that squad. And you cannot allow a dude that's 7 foot to just get hot because then there's no even slowing them down. So
Right.
that has to be your primary focus. He has to work for every time he touches that ball, he gotta work for that. Unless he get a rebound, he come down and pull up. Outside of that, he gotta work for everything he get.
That's with the understanding that there isn't even an ability to make him uncomfortable or slow him down. I just don't think there is. I
Ball
think
can.
that you just
And look, here, Manny, you're 100% right in the sense that couldn't nobody really stop Kobe, but Tony Allen gave that man fits.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Great offensive players will never be
he was
stopped.
an annoyance. He was an annoyance for Kobe. Yeah.
Great offense is always going to beat great defense, regardless of whatever sport we're talking about. Because every sport is predicated on scoring points. So the
Right.
points are always going to be scored. It's how you score them. And who's scoring them and how they're scoring them. KD against Philly. This is not, obviously, every team is going to have a different game plan based off of personnel. But Philly can throw Ben Simmons at him. Ben Simmons is more physical than KD. So when
Yeah.
KD's running up the court, give him a little shoulder. Make KD work. He's coming off the screens. You switch that. You overplay that. You don't allow KD to just get easy buckets. Now, does that mean that he's not going to score 35? He probably still will.
I still
But
think
it's
that's
how,
barbecue
it's
chicken right
how
there.
he
Yeah.
scores that 35.
I'm just looking at it from the perspective of who, to me, in my opinion, is easier to stop, and I just don't think you can stop KD. Like KD, even on a bad day, is still, KD. He's still unstoppable, in my opinion. To me, I think you're better off trying to keen in on stopping Harden, making it impossible for Harden to be that creator, which I think Harden's best at, as being that creator. And then Kyrie, yeah, you're better off trying to stop those two guys than getting into trying to stop KD, because KD is just unstoppable to me.
If look, all they have to do is wear a mirror on their chest when they guard hard, and then he's a wrap for them.
Exactly. I mean, it's not that hard to stop Harden. Harden.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
The best defense against Harden is James Harden. So
yeah, but I don't know, man. I'm in on the Nets, man. I've been kind of up and down with them, but the way they played that game against the Clippers, I saw a lot from them, and I'll see if it continues. So we'll see. But yeah, I got them winning it all, man. They ready.
they remind me they're comparable from a talent perspective to Golden State a couple years ago. Obviously, they have KD. Obviously, that's the only thing I think they're missing. Their Draymond. They don't have that guy that just does a little bit of everything. You know what I mean? They don't have that guy that can do the little bit of the dirty work. So I think that's what they're missing. And then of course they don't have the infrastructure and the culture that Golden State had.
No, they got the Brown kid,
What's his name?
Bruce Brown or
Bruce-
something like
Bruce
that.
Brown, yeah, he played with the Pistons.
Yeah, he was doing a lot of that in that game, but we'll see. I think you make a good point, but I am with Nick. Kyrie's mentality, is different now. Like when I look at him, I don't see the same guy that's kind of,
Because he's
he
playing
looks
off the
different.
ball now. He likes that. He likes playing off the ball.
Yeah,
And there's
he
also
looks
no
locked
pressure.
in.
There's not as much pressure, obviously, too. That helps too. I mean, it's not enough
And how
pressure.
much better would that
And-
team be, especially then when they got hurt?
And on top of that, if he gets through his
Crazy.
division, he gets through the East. Because Philly's in the same division. He gets through Philly like ain't nobody else in the East that can really fuck with them.
Nah. Shout out to the Raptors, man. What a good turnaround to the season too. I want to
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
started off horrible.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but they got a good coach, man. I know you don't particularly care for him, Nick Nurse, but
You know, man, nurses don't get no respect.
Nick Nurse is a hell of a coach, man. He's a hell of a
He
coach,
is.
man.
He is.
He's
All
a hell of a
right, well, that's our time, man. We appreciate you guys showing up once again. But yeah, I think a few of us will be back Thursday, and yeah, we'll
Hey,
see you guys then.
real quick, man. I want to give a prayers up to Tiger Woods, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tiger Woods.
Why'd you leave him off? Because he used to mess around with him.
Yeah, that was a big story. I'm surprised we
I didn't
didn't
know
even
if it
touch
was
on
dealing with white women or not. That's what I was saying.
I didn't either.
I didn't want to, because, bruh, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, bruh. I ain't about to be like, all
All
right.
right, Nick, don't be
it's either
meek.
white
Don't
woman
be
or
meek,
white
Mills.
girls. There's
Come on
something
now.
going
This
on
Black
here.
History Month, so I'm gonna wait till March to be like, all right, what's up? What's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Black
Don't be
not-
Meek Mill, man. Come on now.
not Cablasian, whatever you call it.
Nah. I mean, I prayers up for him. I hope
yeah.
he's doing good and all that. But I just feel like there's something about like, why another one?
He was
Like,
by himself,
damn.
right?
Yeah,
I
he's by
don't know.
I don't know. I think the details are still coming out.
They're
That's
looking
all.
for a scandal.
Yeah.
There's something there. Somebody was
yeah,
else
that's
was
why
in
I'm
that car and they
reserving
got out and
judgment
they ran
on-
to the woods.
Yeah,
That's what
why I don't
think
even want to
happened.
talk about it because it's still too much to dissect on that one. But
Oh, you know, hey, they've been trying. I'm with you, man. They've been
well, they
trying
gonna
to get
find
that
it.
man for a
They
while.
gonna find it.
Do y'all think this is the end? Well, I guess it's too early.
Oh,
to
it's a
tell
wrap.
that.
It's a wrap. No,
Yeah.
Because
Like-
there was multiple surgeries on, and I believe both legs. So yeah, like in golf, if you don't got legs, you can't. Play.
Yeah, golf is the oldest man sport in
Well-
the world. If you can't stand up, you can't do shit.
let me see how Tiger doing.
I hope he good though.
I think he's fine.
I just hope it ain't.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
what-
still gotta know. We gotta know all the details, man.
Yeah.
Where do you rank him on the list of all time greats in sports? Like how?
Shit, he
Well,
up
Bobby
there.
Jones came back from almost being paralyzed, so shit, anything is possible as far as golf goes. So
He's top 10 all
Oh
time.
shit! Darryl Brown said he got a compound fracture in his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, he not playing in the Masters. He probably
Oh,
won't play.
Victor, we didn't talk about the Blazers tonight, bro.
He probably won't play in. He probably won't play in none of the majors this year. Probably.
yeah, he's done for this year.
Yeah, he
As
done.
far as
He done. He
2021
may be
is
done
out
for
here.
the next 2 years. The way he
Probably.
takes a lot to
But
rehabilitate
golf is
himself.
different, man. It's not like basketball, football, whatever. Golf is different. It's a different makeup. So I wouldn't. I'm not gonna say he's done forever. We'll see. Obviously, that's still
But
to be
TMZ
decided. but-
found every damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
They found a video of him before he crashed, minutes before the crash.
Like how do they do that?
Because TMZ be paying people off, man.
They pay motherfuckers out. I'm gonna say somebody's around. They'll give him
They
a
don't give
smooth
shit. They'll-
$2,000.
TMZ has no
Yeah.
no ethics whatsoever when it comes.
They'll
to
give a
this shit. They don't
motherfucker
care.
$2-3 just to get that video.
You get the right person, like, oh yeah, there you go. It's two
Yeah,
stacks.
that's crazy. He was in surgery. They hadn't even cleaned up the wreck yet. I'm like, I ain't getting surgery and the car's still out there.
I just hope it wasn't drug related. I just hope it's nothing crazy like that.
That's what they're looking for, Manny.
Yeah. Oh, you
I
know
know that's what
what
they're looking for. I'm just
Sure.
hoping it's not that. I'm hoping it's just was, just an
The horrible,
unfortunate
yeah,
accident.
just the
so
unfortunate.
y'all think on the whole sports spectrum, he's top 10 or top 5?
Of all time in sports.
He's
Yes.
top 10. He's top 10, not top 5.
The only
you could-
reason I would say top 5,
Top
well, it's tough because I need to look at this list in my head.
He's
And I'm not
arguably
ranking them.
he's arguably not the greatest golfer though. That's what I'm saying. Like, he
Yeah,
can't be top
Mickelson. You
5.
can make the case that Mickelson's better because he still has
But
18
he was,
majors.
but even more so, he was more influential in the game. Though. Does that make sense? It's kind of like his impact on golf was huge. I mean,
It was.
It was
really
huge.
was. Yeah.
But are more
not-
black people playing golf because of Tiger though?
Shit,
yeah,
my
more
black
people-
ass
more
started
black
playing
people
golf.
watch. Yeah,
My black
Yeah.
ass started playing golf
Yep.
when he won that
Yeah,
Masters
true.
in '97.
yeah.
I
So
was
if
like,
you
man,
think
you know
about it-
what?
Yeah.
Let me get a golf club. Shit, I got my own golf clubs. Me,
A lot of
hell,
people
shout
did.
out to 12 Kyle. Me and 12 Kyle hit the golf course up about 3 or 4 times already. Like,
I have to sit there and think.
Y'all ain't
about
never
it
sent me
with
the
Tiger.
invite, B.
but we haven't went though since we talked to you about it. We will. We got you. We got
Alright.
you.
I have to sit there and think about it with Tiger, man, because when you start talking about all sports, all time, like, damn, that's. I mean, you're gonna have an athlete from the 4 major sports. Then you gotta think of boxing. Then you gotta think about.
I
you know,
just,
where they rank.
like I said, I just look at him for his impact worldwide. I think a lot of people got on the
His
Tiger train.
impact, man. Tiger impact was huge.
Yeah, it's. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus
And
Christ.
I don't think like we said, like you just said, him and Mickelson are you can compare them as far as who's the greatest of all time in golf. And it's not to say that Tiger's the greatest golfer. It's just his influence. Say it again.
He is.
I think
all
so
time,
too, but it's debatable.
It's debatable with him and Mickelson, man.
It is.
He ain't trying to give it up to the white man. It's Black History Month. He ain't giving it up to the white man.
Man,
All respect to Tiger, man. We all know Tiger's certified.
I don't know what
I
Jack was
agree,
doing,
man.
but Tiger had fools scared whenever you saw him on Sunday
Jack
with
had that
that
dominance.
red shirt on. When
The
Tiger
issue
had
that
that red Nike shirt on, them
The
golfers
issue with
got
Tiger,
scared.
man, he had about a 5-6 year dip where he was just trash, man. So
That scandal, because of the scandal.
Yeah, that was the scandal. Was a big part of it. Like
Yeah.
Mickelson was consistent
And
for
his
about
back-
a 20
his
year
Yeah,
period.
Mickelson was used to them white women. Tiger wasn't. That's why he went
That
down
was that
quick.
kryptonite, man. They know how to take him down, man. They set him up.
Yeah.
Yep. But anyway,
You gotta
they say that there was that he did not appear to be under the influence of alcohol or any other substance,
Oh,
including white
That's
women,
good.
and that he was lucid and could speak at the crash, and that he could stand on his own.
Do we know what caused
He
it?
was wearing his
Do we know what
seatbelt.
caused it?
They say he probably was late, so he probably like tapped into.
It was Russian.
Yeah, he was going to give Drew Brees something.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he was going to give Drew Brees lessons or something like that. So
I saw that he was with Jada Pinkett, like playing golf and
That
shit.
damn Drew Brees.
I'm just saying, yeah, you're right. Yep. maybe Drew Brees' grandfather came.
Yeah, I know. The ghost of his grandfather tried to take him out the scene.
Yeah, I'm scared. All right.
There will not be a golfer better. There will not be a golfer better than Jack.
We out for this.
Drew Brees' grandfather grew up watching Jack Nicholson's daddy. He was like, nah, there won't be another.
Brett Favre in the playoff game.
He said, greatest golf of my ass.
Greatest golfer
Give
my
that
ass.
to
No, we gotta
Nicholson.
get this nigga up out the scene.
We gonna make sure he lost.
Painkillers ain't doing it. White women ain't doing it. I'ma step in and do it.
All right, man. We'll catch you guys next time. We out.
Hey, make sure y'all hit that like button and please
Yeah.
tell somebody to subscribe.
Like, subscribe, leave a review, all that good stuff.
Y'all stupid, bro.
Nick, you an asshole, man.